You are now tuned into Blueprint Radio.
Yeah, so this week in sports was crazy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the big thing that happened. Karl Anthony Towns was traded to the New York Knickerbockers.
We starting off with the NBA in September. That's
crazy.
Okay.
Right?
It's a big trade. Trade. No one's seen it coming. I think
Yes.
everyone knew about it when the trade pretty much almost happened. I think we got a pre-tweet from Shams or something, and next thing we knew that Karl Anthony Towns is on the New York Knicks, traded for Dante DiVincenzo, Julius Randle, and I guess obviously the rest of his contract. I think there was another team in the trade. I think it was the Charlotte Hornets. There was some other draft capital there that went, but the most important thing is that Cat's moving over. I think there's a couple ways you can look at this trade. At the end of the day, I guess let's start from the Minnesota perspective. What do you think? They just finished in second overall.
Right.
They made it with the conference finals for the first time in how many years? They seem to have some chemistry, something growing there, something building there.
So here's what I think.
To remove an integral piece like that
Here's what I think.
Is dangerous, right?
I think they had two centers.
Okay.
So now they wanted a power forward.
Got it.
And that's what they get in Julius Randle.
Okay.
Solid power forward. If it doesn't work, he's gone. So his contract expires at the end of this year.
Yeah.
You try it out. You see how it works.
Yeah.
And it's still the man. But you have somebody in the post to pass it to.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did this.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to justify this.
I don't know why they
Minnesota
did this.
portion of this, like other than freeing up money, and I get the freeing up money because they were saddled
need a
with
point
cap.
guard.
Well, they also again like based off what they had, the cat contract was pretty big. They just signed Rudy the Big. They gotta pay Ant. They had no space or no room on the back end to build the bench and the back end of that roster.
Exactly.
So this is, I think, a move for the next couple years. Now, after this, when it comes to a performance standpoint, there's no way they're going to stay where they were top four in the West with Julius Randle versus Cat. I think they fall
Julius Randle
to at least 6 or play in with this trade.
I wouldn't say that. Julius Randle is solid.
He wasn't solid with the Knicks.
He was. He just it's injuries, right?
I'm low on Julius Randle, bro.
I'm not as low on
Because look
him.
how good they did without him, and that to me is always a sign, right? You're not a leader on the team.
The East was weak.
You're not. Okay, granted, still they finished in
Jalen
second.
Brunson had an incredible season.
You're gonna take that away from the Knicks. So what you're saying the Knicks season was trash.
No, I'm not saying it was trash. I'm just saying like it was like an apex.
It shouldn't have
season.
happened.
Yeah.
If everyone's healthy and everything happens,
yeah.
where do they finish? If everyone's healthy in the East and everyone's playing where they should play, and Embiid's there and Lillard and Giannis clicked and Boston's still
6.
Boston, 5 or 6. Like, okay, all right, cool.
I'll be honest.
Okay, cool.
Like
Cool.
I think they overachieved.
You're not wrong in that sense. 100%.
I really think they overachieved.
You're not wrong in that, yeah.
I think Julius Randle is a great player. Okay, I'll say he's a good player. He's not great.
Yeah.
He's a good player.
He's a borderline all-star.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I had him on my fantasy team, he was 26-10.
Yeah, okay.
When he was playing. He just got injured. He plays
Got it.
really well in the regular season. It's the playoffs where the issues come about.
He's an ISO baller for me. Doesn't have a consistent jump shot. Doesn't have a three-point shot at all. In this day and age, it is something. He can't space the floor.
I beg to differ on that.
No,
I think
his
he's
shooting
great
percentages are
face-up shooter. I think he's a great face-up shooter.
Oh, wow.
And his three-point shot is improving.
I think everyone knows he's going left. And he doesn't do anything. Again, in this day and age with analytics,
you got to stop him.
You have to figure that out.
You got to stop him. Anybody that averages 26-10 while they're healthy, they can ball.
Hold on, did Julius Randle play for Detroit Pistons?
No, he didn't.
I'm trying to understand this.
No,
I'm
just being
honest.
honest.
I feel you. It's a little weird, but okay. Because Julius Randle to me has never been really like again an LA. He got traded and then he got traded to the Pels, and now he's on the Knicks, and like he's never just been anything.
So he
special to me.
He was 24-9 and 5
with the Knicks.
That was last season, and the season
Before he got injured.
Yeah, and the season before he was 25-10 and 4. So
24-9-5. I'll walk that back but okay.
Yeah, 24-9-5. Like
what was
games,
their record?
35 minutes.
Did it say?
Ooh, I can't get into all that, son.
Okay, all right.
That's intense analytics. That would be something that we need to look at. But
so who thinks better then, Cat or Julius Randle?
Cat's better.
Okay, so you agree that they've taken a step back result wise this year? They're still gonna be top 3 in the West.
No, I never said.
No, I'm asking you. Okay.
They're not.
All right.
They're not.
Okay.
But I mean, it's not a terrible trade for them.
Okay.
Because they're making Ant their future.
Okay.
Him and Cat, they just.
Well,
I don't know. They weren't it.
Well, I think that's the other side of the trade because Cat to me has never been him. This is why this trade is so odd to me because you're trading kind of B or C type personalities with each other, right? Cat, I think offensively, if everything clicks right, it's really good for New York. I bought into the Connecticut team camaraderie that they have over there. Right. So removing DiVincenzo does mess with that a little bit. But, if you're going to tell me on paper that I'm going to trade DiVincenzo and Julius Randle for Cat, I do it 9 times out of 10. So I think it makes them better especially with OG over there. And all the pieces that they've picked up, and obviously Jalen Brunson taking the next level. It should be they should be in that 2 to 4 spot. I think throughout the year.
Like last year, Cat shot 41% from 3.
I think career wise, I think he's 39% from 3.
He's solid.
Yeah, his offense is there's no question.
For sure.
Offense is just defensively, it's just motor. And again, I think the biggest thing for me when it comes to Cat is, again, I was talking about the B-type, C-type personalities. He's now playing in New York. He couldn't handle media in Minnesota.
But him and the coach have synergy. He played for that coach before.
I get it.
So he knows the system.
I get it.
So he might be good with that system. It takes a lot of pressure off of Brunson.
Listen,
I don't think Brunson could repeat that season again. He looked tired at the end of that joint.
For sure, but he was the best player in the league, the last 2 months of the year, pretty much, right?
Yeah, he definitely was up there. I mean, they got Bridges.
Tibbs getting players the second time around, just thinking off the top, it never works out. Like Jimmy went back and played with him, and didn't really work out. D Rose, guess kind of he got minutes, it didn't really
D-Rose
do
wasn't
nothing.
The same player.
I get it still, but it really didn't do nothing. Tosh
he had
Gibson
that
was
50
able to
ball,
live.
though. Let's talk about that. And we didn't even talk about it. Shout out to D Rose. He retired.
Oh yeah, big shout out to D Rose.
An amazing career.
The biggest what if maybe in NBA history.
Yeah, between him and Penny Hardaway for sure.
Yeah, biggest what if maybe.
For sure.
So
we're gonna see what this trade leads to. I mean,
yeah,
I like Cat.
Yeah.
I like Cat. I think he'll be good in that system. I think he's another option to get the ball to.
Yeah.
He's a stretch 4-5. He can shoot the rock like his shooting clip is crazy.
Yeah, he can score.
And it would just be easier for him with a guy like Brunson that can get him the ball in the positions he needs to get the ball.
I'm interested in seeing the Knicks because now the Knicks are actually a really good team, which means that they're probably going to be worse this year than they were last year. It's just so New York. It's on par. Bing bong, like
bing bong.
So we'll see how. Again, the East is that Jordan migration. Like all the players I feel are coming over to the East now, and the East is starting to get really strong. Like Boston,
heavy.
We got PG over here again. You got Cat over here now. It's Milwaukee's move. I know they did Dame last year. They need someone to kind of
shift the tide.
Well, they need someone to replace Middleton. I think as another piece. You just can't trust him. He's too injured. So again, we're talking basketball in September. We'll take it. All right. So NFL Week 4. Okay, so what I got here is some of the big winners of the week were the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Niners, the Bucks beating the Eagles 33-14. Jeez. Yeah. Maybe the best team in the league right now are the Sam Darnold-led Minnesota Vikings. Which
is crazy,
That's
right?
mad. That Jets-Broncos game, it was terrible TV, so bad that I want my money back, and I only watched the highlights. It was terrible. One touchdown I think scored, missed field goal to end the game. What else we got
here?
Even
see that?
The Rams. So the Rams are weird because they beat us last week and then lose to the Bears this week. So that's some weirdo shit. Titans say so. The Saints Falcons game was pretty good. That went down to the wire.
That went to a field goal.
Yeah, that was a good game.
A 58-yarder.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that was so trash. The Saints really lost that game. They threw away the ball.
Yeah.
The Falcons' offense didn't do anything. It was all field goals and off defensive recoveries. It was a pick. It was a recovery in the end zone. No, man.
I remember watching a lot of that game on Red Zone, and they were just clipping to that game all the time just because there was so much things going on. But big shout out to Jaden Daniels for the rookie quarterback for the Washington Commanders, fresh out of LSU.
Hold on, did you even know the Commanders were going to be this good?
No one. They're 3-1 right now. They're in the NFC East. That division does have the Cowboys. It does have the Eagles. It has the Giants as well, but no one cares. Yeah, the Giants so we'll see. I think they are one of the biggest surprises. As I mentioned, Minnesota, huge surprise being 4-0 right now.
Rookie quarterback.
Yeah, but big for him. He's setting NFL records right now. I think the number was 82.4. His passing completion percentage over the last 4 games, which is number 1 in NFL history over a 4-game span. I think the closest to him was Peyton Manning. He had a stretch like that back in 2006. Yeah. But I think at that time, Peyton Manning was already in his 6th or 7th year.
Peyton Manning was already him.
Yeah, exactly. So big shout outs to him. Anything else stand out to you on the NFL front?
So the Eagles had some missing pieces this week.
Yeah.
Rashee Rice out with a torn ACL.
So that's why Kelsey actually had a good week, right? They actually had to throw the ball to him. Right? They had no one to throw the ball to.
Yeah, that's going to be hard for them with their number 1 receiver out.
Yeah.
They continue to find ways to win. They're 4-0. Minnesota being 4-0 is crazy.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield was on fire.
He's looking like a number 1 pick,
bro.
Bro, in Tampa right now,
bro. Crazy. Let's get into some footy action.
Okay, well, before that, who do you got tonight? We got 2 games on.
Lions, bro.
You got Lions winning.
I got Lions over the Seahawks.
Okay.
I hate the Dolphins. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm a Buffalo Bills fan.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So I rather the Tennessee Titans win. I don't know why I don't like Miami. I just don't.
No, listen.
Never have, never will. It's just one of those polarizing teams. It's like the Sacramento Kings for me. I'm never liked them.
I'm with you. It's an AFC East thing. It's Bills or no one else. But my take is looking terrible right now, picking them to go to the AFC Championship game against the Ravens. That's probably that side of that pick is not happening for sure unless Tua comes back like Superman. But yeah, I guess tonight, I gotta take the Titans. They have still good pieces in Miami. It's just the quarterback is so influential in regards to the way a game is played. That
of course they run your offense.
Yeah, right. So that's good. That sounds like it's gonna be such a bad game. And again, I got the Lions. I think the Lions. I picked them early to be top 4, probably by the end in the NFC, if not get to the conference finals. I think if it's not us in the Super Bowl, it might be the Lions. But they don't look as good as they did last year.
Yeah,
this year so far. Start. But we'll see if that starts to
it's not really shaky. They're 2-1.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad.
You know what I mean?
It's not bad.
But
and they can easily win tonight.
We thought they were going to be world beaters. So I mean, going to 3-1 it's pretty good. The Seahawks are 3-0 right now. So I know I'm picking the Lions, but the Seahawks do have a chance.
Okay. All right. So you were talking about footy. So yeah, it was a big week in the EPL.
Bruv.
Yeah, big week in the EPL.
Bruv.
A lot of things happened. I think for me, obviously, I'm going to always start with Arsenal. We almost fumbled the bag.
Bro.
The score was 4-2. Leicester got robbed. They should have snuck out with a draw. We scored 2 goals in the 90th minute. So the game was a lot closer than it looked. City drew with Newcastle. Shout out London. 1-1, which is huge. And again, it was as tight as the EPL is. Draws are pretty much losses, when it comes to that.
Especially in standings, yeah.
Yeah. Liverpool, they lead the EPL right now, beating Wolverhampton. Villa, we were talking about it. They were up 2-1 late.
For breakfast.
They were up 2-1 and ended up drawing 2-2 against Ipswich. Now, that's
a winless team.
That's one of those games that you look back at the end of the year when you draw to a winless team and you kind of, want to kick yourself.
But you know what is crazy to me?
Yeah.
Chelsea's creeping up.
Yeah, listen, Chelsea is one of them, They're another London team that has a history of just being well. And when they're not, top 5, we're always thinking something's wrong with them. But it's just a matter of time. I think that they've progressed well. Palmer is playing amazing over there. Their other striker, what's his name? Johnson. He's doing well as well. But the EPL is I love footy. It's just every week. It's kind of like on the NFL tip to me in that sense. It's just, especially with the top 5 to 7 teams like Man U, Tottenham. We were talking about, which is always going to be good games. But Man U's not the team that that we grew up watching. Obviously,
yeah. I'm normally used to hearing their name in that top 5.
Yeah.
Right now it's Liverpool at 1,
Yeah.
Man City at 2. Arsenal at 3.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Chelsea, and then Villa to round it out at 5.
So you guys got Europa right now, so we'll see. It's a long season. So we'll see how this.
We had a few games in a quick span because you played Sunday, played the Tuesday, and they played Sunday again.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes, man. What else do you want to get into?
Some sad news. I guess we'll get into this. I guess this happened today. Yes. It looks like NBA Hall of Famer, legend, fan favorite, one of the most recognizable people in the NBA probably history, has one of the biggest calling cards with that no. Sad news that Dikembe Mutombo has passed away at the age of 58. He was suffering from brain cancer. The reports that I've read haven't said that that's what he specifically died of, but that's what they're saying he was suffering from. So prayers out to the family, to the NBA community. I know he was really influential into the rise of African basketball in the early days. So, and with all the talents that the NBA is that are in the NBA from the continent of Africa, I know that they're in mourning right now. Just an amazing player, defensive player of the year.
Too.
I remember one of the early memories of Dikembe for me was being on that Nuggets team. I want to say 96. Or maybe not 96. Maybe it was 97, where they. Upset.
No, that was 95.
95, yeah.
The Supersonics,
they upset
bro.
the Supersonics,
Oh, my God. I remember watching that as a kid and being hurt.
Because Supersonics were a big team,
bro,
yeah.
Because that was when they had a 5-game series for the opening round.
So that was big, but again...
And him holding the ball on the floor.
Yeah. But he was also influential, obviously, on the defensive side of the floor. But when he moved over to the Philadelphia 76ers and teamed up with Allen Iverson, and they ended up going to the NBA Finals that year. They actually beat our Toronto Raptors in the semifinals that year. Dikembe, and he's just been, an ambassador for the NBA, for basketball.
Four defensive player of the years, which is tied with Ben Wallace and Rudy Gobert for the most of that award, which is crazy. But I remember watching NBA Inside Stuff and just seeing him in the Congo and building hospitals and what he was doing for the development of Africa. So
he'll live forever.
Big loss for us.
He's done some remarkable things. From what I heard, a very smart guy. One of the deepest voices you'll ever hear.
He could have been the Cookie Monster.
Yeah, for real. Rest in peace and rest in power, rest in paradise, and shout out and condolences and prayers to the family for sure. Lastly, so we brought up a conversation last week, and obviously I think we're going to hear a lot more about it as time goes on when it comes to this retirement of Vince Carter's jersey.
You gotta do it.
Now, okay, again, so has your sentiment changed at all from when we got the announcement last week?
Nah, I think they should have announced it way earlier.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Last year when the Nets announced that they were going to retire Vince Carter's jersey, I was very disappointed with the Raptors in seeing that there was no plan at that point. We hadn't heard about it.
Yeah.
And then now we're seeing what they did. We've seen Dixon Courts they fixed up.
Yeah.
Tributed to Vince.
He was emotional.
And from back in the days, they always had that VC15 sign on the rims.
Yeah.
I got family that lived in that area, so I know.
Dope.
The courts look amazing. I want to go play over
there.
Yeah,
we're gonna
but
pull
I
up.
mean,
we'll pull
up. Vince is our biggest NBA star, maybe ever, because of what he did and revolutionized the game in Canada, Toronto. Just made it bigger. We talked about our highlights with Vince Carter just being so happy when he won the dunk off and rep for us. He really loved that Toronto jersey. He repped right.
Yeah.
So VC was like we had Mighty Mouse, we had T-Mac, we had Marcus Camby, but VC was that guy that popped the franchise off.
And this is why I'm so I was actually taken aback this week. I'll be honest with you, because we listened to all of the sports pundits and in Canada and in the US, and I was very disappointed with a lot of them, and I have a little bone to pick, I'd say, right? So
really?
For all of those that still have a 20-year grudge, for a 26-year-old human being that made decisions that a 26-year-old human being make and are still harboring any type of feelings to this day. And I'm hearing he set the franchise back and yada, yada, yada. Let me be the first to tell you that you guys are losers.
Go in.
You guys are top-tier losers. And listen, I understand, still being in your mom's basement. It's okay. You can come out. It's the world can be a scary place.
Get 'em.
Please leave from behind your computer and all of this trash. It sounds so stupid. Like, as I mentioned, I'm hearing the most prominent or some of the most prominent sports broadcasters in Canada sound like spoiled, entitled fans. So I get it. I lived it. I was one of those people too that said, I'll never forget Vince. I'll never forgive Vince. But something changed.
With time, you grow up.
Listen, I started to believe in myself. I became motivated, started to work hard. I started to make a little bit of money, right? The women, starting to be around a lot more prettier women, nice cars.
Man, cool.
Ultimately roses.
Go in.
I got a life, right? And in getting that life, I realized that I can't let another person's decisions impact me in any way, shape, or form, especially if I have no personal connection to them, right? So, for those still struggling, as with the retirement of Vince Carter's number 15 jersey, I offer this. We won. The basketball faithful of Toronto, the loyal legions of Raptors fans, we have an NBA title. We celebrated victory at the top of the NBA mountain, right? Unfortunately, Vince doesn't have this. So the conversation goes like this. Hey, Vince, you're so instrumental in what you've done for Canada basketball.
Right.
Love seeing you as a Toronto Raptor and growing and becoming an all-star. And, we're so excited to retire your jersey. It's going to look so great beside our 2019 Eastern Conference Finals champion. And it's going to look even better right beside the 2019 NBA Finals champion. Listen, Vince, I tear up every single time.
My son is
every single time I think about it. Vince, you would love the finals. They're amazing. And end of conversation. Listen, we've gotten more from Vince Carter than Vince Carter's gotten from Toronto. Right? I understand in real time, you can't quantify what the impact of what notoriety can do, right? I get that. But what Vince Carter maybe has done for one single franchise, especially back then, I don't know if another player has done for a franchise and a country, to that magnitude, right? And I can just simply, just the nightly highlights, seeing this player every single night on ESPN, not just on Sportsnet or TSN, see him on the biggest stage, the Olympics, dunking over the 7-footer.
Incredible
Probably one
memory.
of the biggest NBA basketball Olympic highlights ever, right?
I've watched that a million times.
Yo, the Nike campaigns. The Shocks were the biggest shoe in the world when Vince Carter was wearing them.
I went to a commercial audition for
Bomb. Right? Again, you mentioned the jersey. The social impact of the coolness that he made that Raptors jersey in mainstream media, in hip hop, in pop culture.
The 51 versus Phoenix.
100. Look again. I'll even gonna take it a step further. Vince, maybe to me, is top 15 athletic or naturally gifted players in NBA history. Listen, I'll even say this.
I would say higher.
Okay, talk to them, Roses. I'll check the comments later. Left right-hand jumper, off the dribble, can shoot mid-range, post work, money from the line. Oh yeah, and probably the best in-game dunker ever. His hops,
incredible.
His bounce was unreal. Right? So, again, I'll check the comments for anybody that wants to debate that. I'm here for the smoke. All right? So, again, long and short of it, we've had more good times with Vince than we had bad times with Vince, right? He didn't have to come back every year and do those Vince Carter classics. He didn't have to, but he did.
I went to one.
Bro, I went to every single one of them.
Weekend.
Bro, we never had nothing like that in the city, bro. So again,
he brought out bottle service.
Bro, as you get older, and if you're a little older man and you know about Inside Nightclub, if you know, that was a thing. So listen,
inside.
I am all about giving people their flowers while they can smell them.
Right.
So I think I'm gonna end it on that, but I do want to say, for all y'all that still hold that grudge, get a life. Y'all are still losers, for real, for real.
You are now tuned into Blueprint Radio.